All right. Hello and welcome to chapter 254 of my streaming adventure. What I have for you today is more combo. I tried a different kind of combo deck last week. It's based off of Paradigm Shift. Well, not necessarily just Paradigm Shift. It's really based off of Thassa's Oracle, and I could say it's not even really based off of Thassa's Oracle. Get your deck empty and play an effect that cares about having your deck empty. The most succinct version of that is Paradigm Shift, eat your library. Thassa's Oracle says, oh, no library, no problem, we win. Thought Lash is a backup version of Paradigm Shift. Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, is a backup version of Thassa's Oracle. So I've seen the streamer is Punishing Waterfalls. I've seen them streaming it. I thought it was really interesting. I gave it a try, and it didn't really work out so well. So, another streamer named Into Play, known for their mono green cloud post in Legacy mainstay, they tried something a little bit different. They tried mono black Dark Depths, and when I was looking for a deck list, I found that somebody else had like 5-0'd a league, and so they took the list, made some minor adjustments, and tried playing it in the challenge. What I find interesting is, so the element of quick 2020s are there. Vampire Hexmage plus Dark Depths, 2020. Thespian Stage, Dark Depths, 2020. Okay, those are the main 2020s. However, Urza Saga is a threat that plays a little bit differently than the rest of those and can generate multiple artifacts that maybe grow up to be 2020 or something to that effect, but the Urza Saga engine is just such a good value that I feel like that's something worth pursuing. Plus, after a couple chapters, when the saga searches your deck, to be able to find Pithy Needle, or in this case, go find an Expedition map. Expedition map tutors up the Thespian Stage Dark Depths combo. There you go. So, another interesting aspect of this is Dothy Voidwalker. Now, I have seen Aspiring Spike. I'm shouting out everybody else's streams today. I've seen Aspiring Spike play like red-black, sacrifice and stuff, and a lot of times seen him play a Dothy Voidwalker and then Thoughtseize a powerful spell out of your opponent's hand. That means you now get to play that spell, and while there won't necessarily be some of those haymakers, I still feel like it's a really powerful synergy, and so that's something I wanted to try. We also have Sudden Edict for the, if I can maybe trade off or deal with some of the other creatures, Sudden Edict to wipe away the big, not only their own 2020s, but to be able to deal with an opponent's Murktide Regent. I was like, I know the card. The card is generally around here somewhere. Okay, so that was my thought of how, or basically, I'm looking at somebody else's list and interpreting where they're going with it. In the sideboard, we give ourselves a couple options. Near and dear to my heart, Leyline of the Void and Helm of Obedience. This lets us put the squeeze even more on the Delver decks that don't operate, but have a lot more trouble when their creatures are powered down by not having access to the graveyard, as well as Reanimator, which is an important strategy. Lands decks get a little bit more neutered when they don't have access to their graveyards, as well as giving us something in Helm of Obedience that can kill quickly. The other Massacre for Death and Taxes, I saw they had Karn, Scion of Urza, not Great Creator, and that felt a little weird, but I see it more as a supplement to the Urza Saga swerve of let's make a bunch of XXs and just start attacking. that sounds like a great plan. Let's make some constructs. I'm with you. So it's kind of doubling down on that alternate path. Now, speaking of alternate paths, nice segue. Thank you. Like I said, Into Play is a Cloud Post 12 post gamer. In their sideboard, they have a Cabal Coffers, an Eye of Ugin, and an Emrakul. So I assume for like the matches that you know are maybe going to go a little bit longer and stuff like that, when you're playing Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth and making everything a swamp, that powers up Cabal Coffers pretty well. And then if you have all this miscellaneous mana, might as well activate our Eye of Ugin and go get a 15/15 that'll take the rest of the turns. Now, even better, we were already playing some toolboxy lands that can be found off the expedition map. So to be able to already have a Karakas and Emrakul and take all the rest of the turns, I thought that was pretty sweet. So I definitely felt like I wanted to include that. So that is the deck I have for you today. Speaking of that, I want to say thank you to Mana Traders and thank you to everybody out there that have been using my referral link and my referral codes and signing up. I really do appreciate it. It really helps the stream, or it helps support me to do the stream. That is who I use to play the different decks that I am able to play, or I'm not able to play it without them, truly. I'm really humbled that Mana Traders does what they do. Also, make sure you are checking out not just me. A little bit ago, Steven wrapped up his stream. Steven plays Monday through Friday, focuses on Magic Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, gets Pokemon in there on Thursdays and Fridays. We're trying to have a couple other team members gonna start trying to add to the stream. I tend to play Legacy. I'll get some Vintage in there, maybe some Modern. Steven plays anything that's coming up for the next tournament. So he really... We're going to try to get all the bases covered, if you know what I'm saying. So, with that, let's jump into a league. Theoretically, I could have already had that going on in the background. But, yeah, I didn't. It helps if we start the match. Wow, that was quick. Maybe I shouldn't have. All right, round one. Opponent is keeping 7. We have... If we lead on discard effects, leading on discard effects means the Bojuka Bog is going to come into play tapped. I can't necessarily follow up with Dark Confidant, but it is a basic. I'll keep. So that's interesting. Snap, keep, Prismatic Vista, go. I kind of want to have access. Ponder, Force Negation, Narset, and Basics. So this makes me think of the Jeskai deck. Why would you not go with Ponder there? So I feel like I want to go after Ponder. And we'll pass the turn. No need to force a negation there, since that effectively would turn my Duress into a Hymn to Turok, right? So, we have found the Hex Mage, but We can set it up this way. We could also do it incorrectly, so I should have thought seized here first. That's definitely on me, because then I would say I'm taking a particular card here. That's just poor sequencing. So my thought is we take Force Negation, or we take Narset, which is going to dig for something. We take Narset. Pass turn. So they played a Plains. They have 4 cards. We know this plus 1 other. Play a Hex Mage. So they drew a Force of Will there, which is brutal. What would I cast with this? I could also just wait. I think we wait. That was a pretty good draw from them. That was a pretty good draw from us. Magic is awesome. All right, they have 2 unknown cards. Let's attack. Okay, just to be sure. They thought maybe I'd misclick through the attack. It's possible. I'm putting them down for Jeskai control. I mean, we don't know that they are. I feel like they are. So, in that case, if I think it's going to go long, do I want access to the Emrakul plan as well as, well, I guess more what is irrelevant? I would say the Sudden Edicts might be irrelevant. The Pithy Needles can be put on Planeswalkers, but I mean, that might be worthwhile to keep around. Also, if I feel it's going to stretch longer, losing something like Chromox I might be okay with. So we still have Duresses and Thoughtseize. We still have our Disruption. I don't feel like I want to trim any of the land. We'll try that. All right, so I have a lot of nothing down there, don't I? I don't have ways to recur. I don't have... If we had an Urza Saga, this would feel so much better. Okay. So based on this, the fact I have Urborg, I feel okay getting rid of just basic Swamp. And I could go, turn 1. I'll be on the draw. It depends on what I draw. But Urborg setting up Dark Depths is pretty sweet. I'll also keep, and I'll ship a Swamp. Well, look at that. It turns out they are Jeskai. So if I lead with an Urza Saga, turn 2. No, I think if I want to get the value from Saga, I need to wait until... And because of that, I needed to play Urborg, not Swamp. That's my fault. I was saying I want to get the value from Saga. Imagine if I would have led with Urborg instead. Because then if this is a Hex Mage, something to that effect... Now, I can't necessarily pressure more, but I could get something in play. I feel like if they had... I would rather they kill the Voidwalker than kill the Confidant, if that makes sense. That's definitely what I would prefer. Blue-black, cycling a Timeless Dragon. Okay. It definitely makes sense to get that Timeless Dragon cycled prior to Dauntless Voidwalker eating it. They played their Tundra. Prismatic Ending at the ready. Okay. So now, 4 mana available. I think this is where we start to get Saga going. And I'll play out a Confidant. Okay. Two different arts of Dark Depths. Little confusing, Jeremy. Those are 2 different cards. Just want to be mindful of that. 2 different cards. Yep, still past the turn. It's okay, bud. Brainstorm was on their end step before playing the next thing, crack a fetch land. Jace is good. Jace going to bounce my Dark Confidant. It does. I like that. So, 3 cards remaining over there. I think I'm going to play a Dark Depths. I'm going to Thoughtseize them. We see Indestructible. Okay. Well, Dress Down is also problematic. They, in conjunction between Dress Down and Supreme Verdict. Nope. Dress Down is a bigger problem for the constructs. That is a good reason. Okay. Now, because of that, do I want Chrome Mox in play? No, because I can always wait and play it next turn if needed. All right. Jace doing the Jace thing and brainstorming. We knew of Narset and Supreme Verdict, but after this, obviously, we won't know if it's in their hand, if it's moved to the top of the library now. Jace has always been good. However, it has definitely had times when it's less good, if that makes sense. It has to do a lot with the other threats that exist. I mean, that's even in Standard, if you think about it. It was very powerful but it almost had to wait until Bloodbraid Elf and its friends left, because Bloodbraid Elf coming in, 3-power haste that could immediately pressure that Jace. You'd have to come in and use the +2 ability. All right, we Teferi Time Raffler has entered the chat. They're gonna play their sorcery spells. Okay. Go to end step. On my turn, search ability on the stack. That's a clever one to crack their Flooded Strand, otherwise take away that ability. Alright, now we'll search. My main thought was to get Expedition Map. Expedition Map sets up... I think we take Pithy Needle. Now, here's a better thought. I have a Pithy Needle. If we bring in Expedition Map threatens the next saga and stuff like that. So let's do that. Okay. I thought this was Mox Diamond. I thought this was Mox Diamond. That's pretty funny. I thought this was Mox Diamond. No, thank you. Okay. Okay. Prismatic ending I kind of expected. Therefore, I could play Pithy Needle here to turn off. I'm going to turn off Teferi. That is the right one, right? Thank goodness. Imagine if Chrome Mox was actually Mox Diamond. And I could have both played the Pithy Needle and the Dark Confidant. However, we knew Supreme Verdict was lurking, so... Found themselves another Prismatic Ending. Pretty good. Yep. That makes 3 Prismatic Endings. Touche, opponent. They are definitely planeswalkering. That's not bad to literally just draw the Thespian stage. So now I have that lurking. I have 2 mana tap just waiting to happen. Do I deploy... Yeah, we deploy Dark Confidant, make him do something. And end step, make it 2020. I like this plan of attack. Okay. I'm double checking myself. Says indestructible. Says destroy. Cannot be destroyed. Destroy. Just okay. I would hate to do something foolish on stream. Like heaven forbid you play a Chromox and you don't imprint anything on it. I mean, isn't that embarrassing? It feels pretty embarrassing. Oh, that's smart. Get a blocker. Yep. Okay. So the question is, do I go for this? You're not a legend, are you? In another world, we use this expedition map instead to get an Urza Saga. And then we have Urza Saga with the Thespian stage. If I get the 2020 right now, attack, block, Jason. Or Teferia. They just had the Days Undoing the whole time. That's pretty boring. That's definitely worse. Well, that would be an argument to waiting. And now they're going to start doing the thing where they set up the top of our library. They just need to be able to get themselves another threat. There's no way this Timeless Dragon attacks. Correction. Have they already used both? Shh. Maybe they forgot. Maybe they forgot. They did not forget. Let's see what we draw. I mean, they're only attacking for 4 at a time. If we can draw an Urza Saga, heaven forbid. They let me have that, though? Or did they use the Jace ability to send it away? That doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. Targeting me again. See, I would be curious whether it told me they did whether they clicked yes or no. When it's the fact that it's a May, they are deciding whether or not to use it on top. Chose not to use Jason Mind Sculptor's ability. Okay. So therefore, they have elected to let me have the card that's on top of the library. Yep. No blocks. Activate my Narset. Just in case. I think time is better served playing another game. All right. So we still have the long-term plan. The question is there anything I want to change? The fact they have so many planeswalkers definitely make me. I want to have the Pithy Needles in, although we've seen that they have just as many prismatic endings. Meh. Maybe it's the Shadow Spear that doesn't matter. I could see that. Although I'm trying to think if they were low enough where trampling over their 4/4 blocker was enough. I'm going to take out the Chromox because I'm more embarrassed about that play than anything else. How about that? So if we draw the Shadow Spear, we will know it could have been a Chromox, and based on that, we'll decide whether it was wrong or not. That's a lot of how I do my sideboarding. I kind of judge how I feel about something, but I sprinkle in little nuggets of let's see how this goes. So opponent is thinking a little bit more in depth. So Jeskai Undoing was in fact the deck we played against, even though again we got the better of them in the first game. What would we have shown them that they need to change their sideboard? I don't know. Maybe they saw basic swamp and stuff in the first game. We got a quick 2020. Maybe they thought we were Turbo Depths. And based on showing them Dark Confidant, showing them Dothy Voidwalker, they're like, oh, maybe it's a different kind of game. All right. Swamp, Thoughtseize. Next turn, Dark Depths, Dark Ritual, Hexmage. Okay. And keep. We could also start spitting out Karn tokens. So Swamp. Okay, but if I do that, I can't. Swamp, Thoughtseize. Okay. Brainstorm, Flusterstorm, Force Negation, Savine's Reclamation, Swords of Plowshares. I take the swords. Now, how saucy would it have been to lead with Dark Ritual and have them force it? Speaking of saucy. Do it. I like it. So. I do like the fact we drew another Dark Ritual so that we can still play this X-Mage. I find that part funny. Five cards. Savine, Brainstorm, Force Negation. Now, on one hand, I play out Saga. We start to tick up. And I let them set up. On the other hand, I ritual here. And they respond. Potential of the force negation? But this makes me go for it now versus then, right? Well, they could brainstorm into a force. I want to do this before force negation is hard castable. Okay. Now, this informs them that they need to... Yeah, this was wrong. This informs them that they need to brainstorm for an answer. So, I should not have played the Dark Depths. That was a mistake. By playing the Dark Depths, I kind of forced them. Oh no, I do need an answer because the Dark Depths is already in play. Yeah, that was a mistake. So, gonna pass here. I expect a brainstorm. Then it opens up more options for them because say they try to swords the Hex Mage or whatever right now. On my, I would have to crack it for the Dark Depths, and then it goes to their turn, and Dark Depths could be prismatic ending. However, they did not do that. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate the follows as always. Thanks. I hope you enjoy what we're doing. Or maybe it's a hate follow. Maybe you don't enjoy what we're doing. Unsure. You'll have to let us know. Tundra. So, do you go for the 2020 here? One. Do I give them more time? They brainstormed and shuffle. Nice. That's a pretty good one. So my main thought is we go get an expedition map. We I'm gonna attack. Hi, buddy. I'm going to deploy a second Hex Mage because of the added benefit of the Hex Mages able to steal counters off a Planeswalker. That's the second. That's a effect I was not thinking about for Vampire Hex Mage. Stop, buddy. What could they have here? I have a Planeswalker. We knew about the Force Negation. That's my fault. Come on, you're better than this. Frustrating. Now, the real question is, should I just have made a 2020 a while ago? Yeah, probably. I'm trying to get them to commit and do something. Narset? Sure. Well then. A Swords to Plowshares, you say? Okay. Saga's now on 2. If I tap for 2, what do we know of in our deck? Caracas, Bog, more Dark Depths, more Thespian Stages. Hi, bud. Theoretically, I should have tapped that way instead. I'm going to see... Well, if they try to Swords, they effectively lose Narset immediately. Because I would just cash it in to eat the Narset. Okay, that's what's happening. Alright, pass turn. Savine, okay. Teferi. Does Teferi change anything? I don't believe so. I can still play abilities. We're taking away the draw effect too because it no longer has a legal target. Fair enough. Okay, so we've drawn a new swamp. We could make another... And then what is this tutor for? If this gets a Pithy Needle that turns off to Fairy, we swing in for 4. They Wrath, and then we die. No, because we can reset with Expedition Map. Attack my opponent. trying to make the Savine's Reclamation less impressive, especially if we would have killed it there and they just... Okay. That's another argument for what we should have chosen instead. Okay. We attack Jace for 3. Correct. Please attack Jace there. Okay, Jace is dead. I do kind of want to set up a new Urza Saga. Yeah, Urza Saga does the most because in the long term it can bring out the other one. And display a Dark Confidant. Make them have to try to deal with both. Narset acquired. Narset activated. Looking. Found a Ponder. Play a Ponder. This is all making me feel better. So we only have 2, 4. We can activate, giving us 5 powers worth of attackers. Basically, if Dark Confidant can draw us an artifact, could it draw me one of... Well, that's tiny. Could it draw me one of the Chromoxes I sided out? The answer is no. You cannot draw cards you have sided out. Unless you specifically have certain cards, which I do not have those cards. Ponder has been shuffled. I do not believe I have any 18s in my deck. Hey, we found a Pithing Needle. I'd like to cast a Pithing Needle. That will be forced here. It was not forced. Okay. Move to combat. We did it. Slow and steady wins the race. If you weren't sure about it, I am slow. So that ended up working out. Maybe not necessarily how I envisioned it, but still did get there. Trying to find the best way to display what we have going on here. Okay, so there's everything. Yeah, the disruptive element of the discard and the ability to threaten a 2020. Now, a lot of the unfamiliarity led to probably poor sequencing. So definitely let me know if you're seeing... If there's stuff that you think you would play differently, comment in the chat, comment later on YouTube, let us know, let me know, and I can try to address those things, because if you're not live, you can always catch the videos. They go up on YouTube the next day. So if you aren't watching this live, you're probably watching it live-ish. And you can always find me, J Pinter MTG. All right. Round number 2. Won the die roll. This is interesting. I'll keep. So this is the play I was talking about in the intro, where you can set up Voidwalker and then Thoughtseize them. Now, do you want to Thoughtseize first to make sure the way is clear? Or do you want Voidwalker to steal their thing? I mean, it could work out. Force of Negation, Dragon's Rage Channeler, Lightning Bolt, Ponder with a Grove of the Burn Willows lurking. So Dragon's Rage Channeler will not be impressive. We could take this Lightning Bolt, and then I have a Lightning Bolt in reserve, and that stops them also from just being able to kill it. I think we do that. So we'll see where they go with everything. Grove of the Burn Willows out first. Dragon's Rage Channeler hits the board. Okay, we found a new Voidwalker. Now, can any Voidwalker play any spell? It appears so. So let's just get to town. I'm just going to go beat down. There's a Scalding Tarn. Somewhat interesting they didn't lead with... Maybe they wanted to get more value from their cantrips, and that's believable. Get the value from the cantrips that could, inform your Uro. I like Uro. I don't like Uro because it goes to their graveyard. Or that's not true. This might be the list I saw that uses Dak Faden. Dak Faden and Punishing Fire off Grove of the Burn Willows. It's an interesting... So, what did Ponder actually do? Ponder was a shuffle. What would they even have in their hand? They've lost a Scalding Tarn and a Misty Rainforest. Let's say Dak Faden. Like, they're more likely to hit a land first, but that's a card that I expect that they have. Okay. Keep in mind, we do have Lightning Bolt. No, we have Lightning Bolt available to us, but the Lightning Bolt could be countered as opposed to the attacking for 3. That is worth considering. See, I was going to name a fetch land, but we would not even have named the correct fetch land. They could be digging for, like, Bolt effect here. It is entirely possible. Brazen Borrower. All right, so we're up a game. All right, up a game against a RUG deck that utilizes the graveyard pretty heavily. Is that something we want Leyline of the Void for? Maybe. So, yeah, let's go back to the other view. Okay, so we saw Dragon's Rage Channeler. We saw Uro. We saw a lot of cantrips. We saw Brazen Borrower. I kind of feel like if we get the ley lines, Leyline is an extra way to pressure. And I think because of that, I want to bring in the Helms. The thought here is it's a different threat, although we did see that they're counter-based removal. I'm just thinking that Pithing Needle is maybe not as impressive against their type of deck. Maybe is something like Karn. I want the pressures from Karn. They did have Uro, so maybe it is worth having Karakas still. This could be the thing where Dark Ritual isn't necessarily where I want to be. The speed burst not being enough. Then again, Dark Ritual, Helm is sweet. Taking out 1-drops, bringing in mono 4-drop feels wrong. But if I'm saying I don't need to have the speed, I just need to have resiliency, I could believe that. I think I want to keep at least a 1 of that. So the trim, do I trim a Duress or a Thoughtseize? I think I trim a Duress. Okay. Now, once again, that is the part of sideboarding where, things went horribly off the rails there. They're keeping 7. I have a single Urborg. Well, look at it this way. You don't have a single Urborg. All right, ponder from them. Ponder, no shuffle. That's an interesting one to have. Swamp Go. My thought is go Voidwalker. Sure. Okay. How deep are they willing to go? I mean, the fact that they have removal and stuff like that, punishing fire. So, the question is, do you play the Voidwalker, or do you play another threat they feel that I can generate stuff with Dark Confidant? I think I want the Dark Confidant. And while there isn't a lot there, I feel like I have to play the land. I can't afford to miss a land drop. They are not taking the extra cards here. I wish I could if the fact that I was going off curve with Confidant, or not necessarily off curve, that's not the right choice. Yep. Being able to save it one more turn, like this is going to be that big turn. They've untapped their mana. They're going to cantrip, go digging with Dragon's Rage Channeler. If I had the Bog here, that would be sweet. Meltdown makes sense. Did they start by playing a land? They had to, right? So, my 11th Voidwalker enters play. Swamp. So, if I lead with Map, Map would let me tutor here. Okay. Pitching Brainstorm for Beseju. So they had answers. So the real question is, would they trade the Dragon's Rage Channeler here? And the answer is I think they would. So I don't want to give them that option. I would like them to pay some life. And then my thought is next turn, I can set up the tutoring of Expedition Map. Expedition Map can tutor for Dark Depths, and then I can play a Hex Mage out on top of it. So now Dragon's Rage is priced into having to attack. Keep in mind, Jeremy, we know they have a Brazen Borrower. Here comes Uro. And can they manage it in a way that they retain their flying, or they don't care about retaining their flying? Yep. But they do have two types. Wasteland is an impressive one. So that's the question. If I play Dark Depths, is it just going to get killed immediately? If I play this, they have to kill it. And now, because of the second Hex Mage, that Wasteland got a lot weaker. I'm going to say they might have to be digging here. Now, can they also, post-combat, give them... See, if they give them flying here... Well, no, because they're summoning sick, they don't have to attack. That's a good way to do it. So land instant sorcery. So the second Hex Mage plays around Wasteland. They would need to be able to get a creature into the graveyard quite literally instantly. No blocks. Go to 14. Post combat, Murktide. Okay, so they have a flying blocker. Okay. Okay. Trigger here. No, see, that's where you play around it wrong because they don't respond to the Hex Mage, they respond to the trigger on the Hex Mage. Okay. Flip me a Helm. Helm doesn't do what I need unless I get the Voidwalker in play. So, new Dark Depths, please. New Force of Will. Well, Force of Will is going to work. They're keeping the card that they want. So the question is, have they dug far enough to find the Brazen Borrower, or have they found a new Life from the Loam or something like that? Do I need to cash in? I feel like it's more likely they did. The way that went, I'm thinking they found Wasteland Life from the Loam aspect, so I'm going to bank on that. Let's see if they have the answer. They could also just go, here's a bunch of damage in the air. And do they have enough that they can trigger? All they need to find is the last type. There it goes. Everybody takes to the air. Yeah, so unfortunately, cashing in our bog too early. Okay. Game 3. Well, do I need the duresses and stuff like that of the world? I'm glad I took out the Chrome Moxes and Pithy Needles, seeing Meltdown from their side. I do kind of wonder, though. I like this idea of this swamp for Cabal Coffers. Or should that be one of the Urborgs for the Cabal Coffers instead of a swamp? I think basic swamp is more important from what they showed. The question here is, are duresses, dark rituals, more important than anything else? I feel like dark ritual is a way for me to get ahead. I'm going to try that. Swamp. Expedition map could find Saga. Is that too late? I think I'm going to keep 7. It's like, why did we put the dark rituals back in if we're not going to use them? Thought here is Sudden Edict. Wait till second main is a little interesting. Okay. Attack. I want to try to keep applying pressure here. So they had the removal spell, but waited to use it on the right threat. And because of that, maybe I shouldn't have given them the opportunity. Like, knowing that they were holding removal, if I sit back on Expedition map, they probably just kill the Voidwalker anyway. So now, if I use the Expedition map, what does it get me? Swamp? Urborg? Urborg has more mileage. I kind of want to get... Show me that hand. So, Punishing Fire. If I take that away from them, they don't really have removal. They can continue to keep digging. Okay, there's the iteration we knew about. So their hand is Force of Will, Uro, Brainstorm. Okay. Expressive Iteration is an interesting one. I mean, they do have Force to contain it. Drew another one. They are powerful. Looking for Burn. Went with Ponder. What can they do? Ponder was a no shuffle. Polluted Delta. I mean, this feels like it's coming up really good for us. So the question is, do I sit back on Dothy Voidwalker? Because as of right now, they can't get a flying blocker in play with what they have here. Whereas if I attack, they're already at 6, and it's pulling them in multiple different ways. Yeah, I think we do that. Just continue to put the pressure of the Voidwalker that maybe that while they're trying to deal with how to stop a Dark Depths. You know what I mean? Now, Sylvan Library is a card we're stealing. Ponder, Brainstorm. Spinning a little bit as it thinks. As long as this Dothy is in play, it should stop Dragon's Rage from getting to flying blocking status. Take it. Copy. All right. Slow and steady. Isn't that what we said last time? Well, yeehaw. Feeling pretty good. 2-0. Things going back. Well, oh, that's not true. What were we last week? Last week we did start off with a loss, but then we won. So we were 1-1 at this point last week. 2-0 this time. Seems to be going okay. Once again, I feel like there was definitely some sequencing as well as what better decisions could we make in sideboarding. I think that's a lot of it, that how I approach my streams, I don't do as much preparation as I normally would like. And a lot of time I kind of, here's an idea, and that's the extent of it. I don't manage to work on the idea enough. So what I do is post in the Swish Discord, and maybe if we kind of had a brewer's corner or stuff like that, we have different format discussions, and that's where I say, hey, this is a deck I'm looking at and playing in Legacy, but it might benefit me better to get people to make sure they're joining in the Discord, join in the conversation, and I definitely think that would go a long way for me. Because I could certainly use the help. Um, I don't get to spend as much time as I used to, and that's a lot of it. Is that like it's true. I am old, and I played. It used to almost act like Magic was the full-time job, except I now have a real full-time job that takes up maybe too much time, and I still want I still love Magic, and I want to spend time with Magic, but it's not getting as much time as I used to. Now, I do think if I hadn't started streaming in the pandemic, that I can't even imagine, mental health and some aspects like that the just being able to continue to play a game and like think about it, because I guess otherwise I would have been a lot more, scribbled notebooks of stuff like that, but not actually getting to play the games. But let's see what we can do in round 3. There's our match. Okay. We're playing first. We're going to keep. And with this setup, I think we have to go. They're down to 6. That makes the Thought Seizes even more powerful. When somebody, I mean, you don't necessarily want to pump the fist when your opponent is mulliganing. That's not good sportsmanship or whatever. But there's nothing like when your tournament is on the line and you're playing the finals and your opponent starts mulliganing. You're like, yes. It's a great feeling. Show me what you're working with. Okay, Ancient Tomb. Chalice of the Void, which would do some work on us. Karn, Defense Grid, Shatter Skull Smashing, Grove of the Burn Willows. Well, the current plan next turn is to play a 2-drop. So, the fact that could mess with us... Oh, here we go. Dauthi Voidwalker. Okay. Ancient Tomb has entered play. We got Thoughtseize bugged. There's not much you can do about that. Whenever you take a card from your opponent's hand, they are roughly 99,000% to just draw it. So the question is, do we get... We can get Urza Saga online and get Dauthi Voidwalker. What does this do? X damage as you choose. Okay, so that's not what I'm worried about. Dark Confidant can start drawing us cards, but I think I'd rather get Voidwalker going. Because it could be more disruptive. Okay. Vampire Hexmage has been found. We could Okay, here we go. You ready for this? This is some big brain stuff. Oh, sorry. So, step 1. This is really going to show some of the fun parts of this deck. Step 1, tap for black. Play a Vampire Hexmage. Vampire Hexmage is going to remove the counters on Chalice of the Void. Thoughtseize is now going to target our opponents. We are going to... Ooh. I was going to say, we're going to take Karn, but correction, we might take Chandra Torch of Defiance. We're going to take Chandra. I would like to cast a Chandra. I am trying to do... So now the question is, do I get mana or do I burn them? Well, I clicked, and it was an Urborg anyway. Got him. So, what do we know is still in their hand? We know Grove, Karn, and Defense Grid are in their hand. Now, on my upkeep, and that's actually worth considering, on my upkeep, if we copy the Saga, then that would give Thespian Stage its token, or its chapter counter. It's if I want to go that way about it. If I don't want to go that way about it, I could just start making XXs. That might be worthwhile as well. So yeah, we could, in our upkeep, Thespian Stage copies Urza Saga, then they'll both get a counter. Saga gets me, it could be Pithy Needle for Karn, and then play Bajuka Bog, and then next turn, let Thespian Stage get counter number 2, and then I copy a different land, and then I have an infinitely generating whatever. And that's until they play Blood Moon and all my stuff dies. But if I can copy a basic, I believe it would be a basic that has the abilities. I'm not 100% sure. I know Thespian Stage gets funky. That's the definition of what Thespian Stage does, is get funky. You could almost consider it flavor text. So I don't know. This is almost worth a screenshot. In my mono black deck, casually with a Chandra. That's a pretty good one. While our opponent is considering their options, let's say that. Now I'm curious, have I done something wrong? Am I disconnected in some way? So from what I can tell, it could just be a case of opponent potentially frustrated at what we've done. I'm not sure how else to... Can I open a trade with somebody? I'm going to try to open a trade. But it appears our opponent has come back. No thank you. Okay. So, we've moved on. Blood Sun has entered the field and killed my... Well, there you go. All lands lose all abilities. So I think, yeah, that effectively turns off. So the question is, do we burn them or do we get mana? It's still a swamp. Because is that technically a mana ability? Interesting. Cast Sudden Edict? No. All right. I have a Dark Confidant, and my Chandra has shot them again. The -7 is for the emblem. They're already at 12. I could keep the Chrome box back. All I have to do is cast it, right? Whenever you cast a spell. The Ancient Tombs are helping as well. What is Karn going to get? Karn could wake up a defense grid to attack. But... Sorcerer's Spyglass. Okay. Well, that will turn off the Chandra, which breaks my heart. But sacrifices must be made. How do I deal with enchantments? I think quite literally my deck is not set up to deal with enchantments. So that sucks. We'll draw. So Confidant will give us, depending on what it is, we can put pressure on Karn. If we can draw... We know they have one card in hand, and we know it's the Grove of the Burnwillow, so that's not too impressive. We swing into Karn to take away their ability to... Well, we only pay a life. I guess that's one way to look at it. And then we hit Dauthi Voidwalker. Alright, so, hear me out. We attack Karn. And then deploy the Voidwalker so that even if they plus Karn and give themselves a blocker for Dark Confidant, Dauthi can still sneak through. That is the game plan here. See? Simian Spirit Guide, big blocks. Defense Grid, aggro. But Dothy Voidwalker will be able to take Karn off the field. No blocks. All right. Greatness at any cost. Unfortunately, that cost is a card that dies immediately to Bloodsun. Interestingly enough, if Dothy kills the Karn, it will then be available to us. So that's nice. Okay, so like I said before, I don't necessarily want to play the Saga because it just goes away. Chrome Mox dies to the Chalice. Do we just put a Pithy Needle out there proactively on something? And then what do we even name? I don't want to name this Karn. But if they draw a new one, I will. Alright, pass turn. They can't truly afford to attack with the Simian Spirit Guide because then we just swing back. I'm going to die to the Dark Confidant. Shadow Spear and a Duress, huh? Well, then. None of my guys can attack. I can play the Karn, but I can't activate it because I'm a dummy. They need to draw cards that they can't play. And I don't know that that's going to happen. It really comes down to I could have named anything I wanted with the Pithy Needle, and what I named killed me. Theoretically, if we would have been able to take Karn, and then we're able to kill away the big thing is with Blood Sun gone, I don't have the ability to. What's this? This seems large. Okay, Shatter Skull Smashing. Why would you kill my Dark Confidant? Thank you? So I can't even play that. Why did you kill my Dark Confidant? I really don't understand that. Did it deal damage to me somehow? Nope. Cool. Who has more time on their clock? I don't know what dang means from our opponent. Maybe they realized. That's funny. That's a good one. So, I honestly don't have a way to win. I don't believe. Like, they just have to cast their spells every turn. Or face my wrath. I think I'm just going to play everything I draw. Roughly. So does that count? That's pretty good. Three manas for that effect, though, is pretty brutal. So I guess let's check the deck list one more time. One more time on the deck list. What? How do I break out of this? Bojuka Bog is already in play. I guess I make them kill me? Now they're up to 2 cards. They can shed the cards as needed. Okay. That's an interesting way for them to do it. It's definitely the slow boat to China, but so that also is not even an option to me because of the Blood Sun. Yeah, I think I am locked out by them. They draw their card. They attack for 2. Yeah, we're dead. We are dead. I'm not gonna. I don't know. I think of it almost as scumbagging them, and I don't want to scumbag them. So they got us there. Now, what that means is we need to have alternate game plan, right? Now, unfortunately, I don't think I can rely on this game plan because of the Blood Sun. That we would be trying to set up the coffers, Ayabuga stuff. Like, I don't think that's going to happen for us. So, because of that, and because of see, Karn is a tough one because Helm of Obedience will only trigger if we can make sure the Karn isn't there. But bring them in, hope they don't hit it. That feels optimistic. Because I think if I get Leyline, there's stuff that they just can't do. They were able to deal with the Voidwalkers, but... I think Chromox's not the other one. I still can't believe they removed our Dark Confidant when it was in the process of killing us. So... Let's go. Yes. Yeah, we can keep. So not only do I have a pregame effect, okay, they mulligan to 6. Bastard. What you got over there? Sure. Confidant trigger. They got to see Helm of Obedience. Deal. We'll see if we can reach the point. They could have Blood Sun again here. Ensnaring Bridge, when you have 4 cards, just isn't as impressive. Okay. So... can't play the map. They currently don't have anything exiled. So we can just rely on making Saga tokens. In the meantime, attack them for 5. Because with the Shadow Spear, I don't want to unnecessarily make anybody too big. Okay, so I need to keep in mind, if they do play an effect like Blood Sun, I need to respond with the Saga token. Especially because the I think it kills it instantly. It's not like a trigger or anything to that effect. And what I find really funny is that this league was meant to be very combo central, very combo-rific, and we're going on 2 hours already, and we're in like game 2 of the 3rd round. Yeah. This might be a case where I'm still kind of hungry. I didn't get to eat dinner yet. That I might end up calling it after this round, depending on how it goes. If we're 3-0, I mean, I definitely will record the rest of it. It might be a case of we stream a little bit tomorrow. I think that's probably the best solution here because, like I said, I'm hungry, man. Come on, man. Man, I'm just hungry, man. Okay. Incoming. This could be a Karn. Just kidding. Whatever it was, They didn't mean it. This could be Shatter Skull Smashing or whatever too, right? I know that gets funky with like the X values. Okay, it is a Karn. Karn will resolve. Does Karn have Lion's Eye Diamond or something like that? Okay. So 3 cards in hand. Okay. Is it attacking? No, it's blocking. Okay. So we're going to draw a card. So do I want to do anything in response to that? Yes. I want to float a colorless, float a black, even better, kill Karn, steal Karn, we go get a Pithy Needle this time for Chandra. Torch of Defiance. Okay. And then we've already got our black floating. Play Vampire Hexmage. We're going to kill Karn. Oh, did that not work? Crap. Well, that could have gone better. I see. Yeah, you got it. That's the problem, is I was thinking, and it's the case of when it goes, because they're both, because of the replacement, they can choose to have it exiled due to the Leyline of the Void instead of the Dothy. It's a good thing whenever I make these embarrassing mistakes, they are in no way shown online or anything like that. Definitely not recorded that anyone would see it and replay it later. All right, so Ensnaring Bridge is dead, which means the construct should be able to finish them off here. And the construct is safe from being Chandra'd. I think we'll be safe. Why? If they have, like, different Chandra... Oh, I hope I named the right one. Well, that went poorly. Bang, bang, bang. Okay, so Chandra is still live to eat us. Then again, I could just get a Helm of Obedience in play, or what would make more sense is wait till I have more mana. So we'll play a Thespian Stage with the intent here that The Urborg is saving them from the ancient tombs, but I am going to be able to get a guy, put pressure. What's this one? There is the Chandra. Okay. Red. Punishing fire. Okay. End step. All right, so we got to go for the cool kill. Kill you, sir. Oh man, see here I was starting to taunt. That was game 2. That was only game 2. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, it was only game 2. Crap. We got to still play another game. Crap. Can't keep that. Swamp. This is sure a lot of 1-mana plays if they just have Chalice. I mean, I guess Chalice is better against me than I give it credit for. I was gonna say, like, I don't even know if I want to play the Saga there. Yeah, I'm dead. I cannot even choose to cast these cards because of Trinisphere. But wait, there's more. Nope, Chalice is holding down everything we've got going on our side. Yep. Okay, we're getting warmer. This seems to be pretty ideal on their side. A new Chalice on X equals 1. Deal. If only we could get rid of that Blood Sun, we would get a 2020. Pretty sure we still don't have any way to remove enchantments. But I guess we could just get to the point where we cast a Leyline and cast a Helm again. It's going to be slow going here, but I guess Hex Mages could take off. Yep. Well, that's starting to eliminate some of our options. I continue on with my uncastable hand. I do like that Chalice on 2 has turned off Punishing Fire. That's bad. Why not shoot me for 2? You can't cast anything due to the Trinispheres. I mean, there's nothing I can do. Ideally, we are trying to get ahead of Karn. That's the big thing for us. We need to stay ahead of Karn. Oh, hello. They did have Big Chandra. Uh-oh. On the beginning of our upkeep, we're going to continue to burn. All right, we're going to say GG's to the opponent because I don't see any way we get to overcome that. So unfortunately, that leaves us 2-1 so far, but what it does mean is you get a little bit of bonus stream tomorrow. I am going to let this marinate and pick this back up around 5 p.m. tomorrow. A lot of it will depend on what Steven is doing and when he wraps up his stream, but that I'll be able to jump back on and we can finish our last couple matches and see how this 2-1 goes. Is it a 2-3? Is it a 4-1? Is it a 3-2? You'll just have to tune in and find out. So, thank you, everybody, for hanging out today. I really do appreciate it. Thanks again to Mana Traders that allows me to play all these different decks that I do. And thanks to my team, Team The Swish Gaming. You can find us in Discord and come join the conversation. And we'd really love to have you. But that's it for me today. We will see you again tomorrow. Tune in earlier. You'll catch Steven doing a little bit of Pokemon. But then when it is my turn later,